again, this is Archie England and Eric Reeves from NOBTS, and this is part of your Survivor's Guide to this online Exploring Old Testament class. What we have done for you, because this is an online learning experience, is we're trying to create an innovative, unique learning opportunity for you so that the Word of God is just as meaningful to you in an online environment as it is to what we do in the classroom.
That's right.
So Eric and I and several others have sat down and worked together, tried to come up with some ideas that will do a better job of helping you work through this material. Remember, we've given you a code word in one of the other videos, so if you have other ideas, be sure to use our code word and let us know.
That's right.
But for the unit reflections, here's what we have planned. We're going to divide the class, no matter how many students we have, we're going to divide the class basically into 4 groups.
4 groups,
we
that's
might
right.
have more than that, but 4 groups is what we're going to plan. And that means that each group is going to each group of students is going to sign up for leading the interactive, what I'm calling the collaborative section of each week. And so you're going to have reflective readings, reflective writings to do each week. So we're going to give you questions, and these questions are going to involve your brain power with the Old Testament, thinking about how to use the Old Testament in the ministry of the local church. Research is welcome, but not required. So as you do these reflection questions, what happens is your group chooses the questions to do. So if you sign up for group 1, that means you're going to be right off the bat. You're going to do the first
right.
week, our first unit of offerings, and your group is going to have to lead the discussion. Now, it's going to be like threaded discussion, but a little bit different because we actually have a number of words that each group has to do. So if you're in the leadership group, how many words do you have to do at a minimum to leading everybody in the class on the discussion of those reflection questions?
Each person in the group must do a 100-word minimum to add to their group's discussion.
But please, no more than 200 words per person.
That's right.
Because every week, all the students are going to be reading what everybody has said. So if you're in the leadership group, you're going to be doing somewhere between 100 to 200 words. If there's 10 people in a group, that's going to be 1,000 to 2,000 words. That's going to be a pretty lengthy paper for you to read. And so we want to limit that. But all the other people in the class are going to be required to contribute 25 words of responses. So we would prefer not to get answers like, "Oh, I like that, dude," or "That's really good." We'd prefer not to have those. The ones that we would like to get would be the answers, "That's not exactly correct if you look at this passage here."
That's right.
Because what we want you to build in this Old Testament survey class is we want you to build a portfolio for your ministry about how the Word of God impacts the ministry of the local church.
Yeah.
Eric, anything else we could think about here for the collaborative groups?
Yeah, just to reiterate what you've said. So as Group 1 goes during Unit 2, they're going to submit their 100 to 200 words for each person in the group. And then the other groups 2, 3, and 4, each person must respond with 25 words to the ideas put forth by that group. And so we want some good discussion. We want some critical thinking. We want to see that you're interacting with the texts and really thinking about how the Old Testament can apply to our modern context.
Let's give them one example.
Okay.
So in Deuteronomy 24, the Bible talks about the divorce, about giving a woman the certificate of divorce.
That's right.
So one of the questions we'd like to ask the students is, how would you deal with helping somebody that's going through a divorce using the Old Testament?
Yeah, and that's a perfect example of the Old Testament speaking to modern issues.
Now the way we're going to research that is on the worksheet is we'll assign a question about biblical law.
Yes.
Where you'll actually do some investigative research about biblical law, and we hope this motivates you and inspires you to greater learning in the Old Testament Word of God.
Yes.